Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into college football here on EA Sports as we get set to prepare for today's ball game between the Tulane Green Wave and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Green Wave and Demon Deacons square off. Tulane coming off a big-time loss to number 6 against another ACC opponent, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, as they are on the road once again to face off against another top 10 opponent in the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. The Deacons had a bit of a slow game last week. We'll see if they can pick it up here in this afternoon's ball game as we get set for college football here this afternoon. Again, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here to BB&T Field in Winston-Salem, Wake Forest University. We're excited for this afternoon ball game between the Green Wave and Demon Deacons. Let's go down to midfield for the coin toss in today's ball game. Looks like the Deacons will be receiving here to start off the game. Kick is up, and away we go. This one a few yards deep. Watson going to take this one out of the end zone. Shakes off one man, goes to the outside, but only able to get to the 20-yard line. Joe Watson starts off this game with a 22-yard gain, and we'll see what the Deacons have to go here on offense as they picked up enough points last week, but I think if you are a Demon Deacons fan, you were expecting a little bit more out of what should be a very high-paced offense. We're going to see if they can play a little bit sharper here today. As I start off the game, 4 receivers. Snap taken in by Merritt. He's throwing this over the middle. A complete misfire to open up the ball game for Deshaun Merritt. As that one falls to the turf and brings up an early 2nd and 10. Tulane coming out with 4 down linemen, bit of a 1 high safety. Looks like Merritt checks at the line. Snap is away. This one's going to be thrown. Not sure who that ball was to. It was kind of in between 2 defenders. Knocked down harmlessly by the linebacker. And 2 straight incompletions to start the afternoon for Deshaun Merritt. Not what you wanted to see if you're a Wake Forest fan. Again, coming out in 3 wide are the Deacons. This one a screen pass, throws it to Boyd. Breaks 1 tackle, but gets decked for a 1-yard loss. A fantastic play by the cornerback, number 23, as Boyd is stopped for a negative yardage on 3rd and long. Not what you want to see for Wake Forest, and they're going to be forced to punt the ball away on their first drive of the afternoon. Punt is away. It's a boomer. Perhaps outkicked his coverage just a touch as Kemp takes this one. Gets a 15 yards on that return. Just shy of midfield, and we'll see the Green Wave offense for the first time here today. So they start off the game with 4 receivers, everybody in tight. Wake Forest coming with 4 down linemen as well. This one's going to be thrown over the top. Had McFadden open, but nice play that time by the safety. Able to jar the ball loose just at the last second, and he saved a big-time play. That was Mike Neal, cornerback actually. That brings up 2nd and 10. Screenplay here for the Green Wave as Gilmore gets over there, drags down Coley for a 4-yard gain. Tulane now inside Wake Forest territory, 3rd and medium. As this is going to be a draw play. Coley tries to bounce it outside, but a good tackle that time by Eddie Jennings, the senior linebacker, able to meet him at the line of scrimmage as he tried to bounce that one outside. Couldn't get the edge, and back-to-back punts by both teams here to start off this afternoon. This punt is out, and it is going to waiting for the spot. And they're going to say, indeed, it did go out of the back of the end zone. Almost a beautiful coffin corner punt for Tulane. Bit of an unfortunate bounce for the Green Wave as they could have been set up really excellently on defense. Instead, it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Blitz is on here for Tulane. As Merritt breaks it outside, he's got an angle, and he's all the way out to the 39-yard line. Big-time rush there, that time by Sean Merritt. Felt the pressure, able to use that speed and quickness to get out to the edge. It's a good block by Rich to the outside, and he picks up 19 yards on that first down play. 21 personnel here for Wake Forest, 2 running backs, 1 tight end. Merritt takes a snap. It's a play action. This one fired into the flat to the fullback. That's Bradford. So he picks up 5 yards on that little leak out route. Once again, going 3 receivers for Wake Forest, Caps in the slot to the right. Snap away. This one thrown out to the left. Looks like he was looking for Rich once again. A little bit of a mistimed throw that time, as it fell a couple of yards shy of Rich, and now it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Deacons. 2 receivers this time, both to the left. Snap is taken. This one thrown to Ward, had it for a second, couldn't hang on through the contact. J.R. Ward just couldn't hang on. And that'll bring up 4th and 5, another punt, our 3rd of the ball game so far, just a few minutes here into the first half. This one a booming kick. This one's going to hit inside the 10, and it'll skip out of the back of the end zone. So another touchback, this time by Alex Campbell, as the Green Wave will come back out on offense for their 2nd drive of the game. Whole lot of nothing here to show by both offenses so far through the first quarter. 3 receivers to the right here for the Green Wave. This one's going to be thrown to the left. Gordon on the drag route. Tate comes up, able to save the first down. David Gordon picks up 9.5, and it'll be 2nd and inches for Tulane. Here's Walker now on the quick drop step. This one's going to be thrown. Actually hits. Looks like that was Eddie Jennings coming on the blitz. Looks like Walker tried to get rid of that one, but Jennings able to get in his face very quickly. And it'll be incomplete. Brings up 3rd and inches here. An option play to the left, but a fantastic play by Tommy Gilmore, the senior defensive end. Good play as well to the outside as the cornerback picked up the running back. I think that was Mike Neal, the senior. So 2 seniors making an impact. Tommy Gilmore and Mike Neal able to stop that option, drop the quarterback for a loss, and force another punt. Again, already our 4th punt of the ball game, and we're just about 3.5 minutes in here today. Here's Watson now on the return. Spins out. Joe Watson with an impressive move. As there we see just the 1 pass breakup for Tulane so far in this ball game, but both defenses having some success out on the field, not allowing very much in the way of yardage. As Wake Forest will come out 5 wide here on 1st down. As he finds Boyd to the outside. Jamel Boyd, he was split out wide. In that 5th receiver spot, we've seen him run routes. Coaches talked about him in preseason. Now able to line up as a receiver every now and then, as Wake Forest will go quickly. No huddle here. Merritt takes a snap. It's a play action. As this one thrown wildly off to the left, and that one's going to be intercepted by Strickland to the outside. Not a good throw that time by Deshaun Merritt. Not sure who he was throwing that ball to. Looks like he almost threw that to the cornerback, Strickland, as Tulane had two players over there. And another turnover for this Wake Forest offense. It's an issue last week, and it pops up once again here in the first quarter for the Deacons. So after that turnover, the Green Wave take control at around the 32-yard line. As his ball is handed off to Coley, he's going to be stopped for about a 2-yard gain. Rush defense for Wake Forest was outstanding last week. This week, so far, looks like more of the same. We'll see if that remains true throughout the rest of the game. Shotgun 4 receivers here for Tulane. As Gordon moves left to right inside the formation. Walker takes a 2-step drop. This one's going to be thrown, and it's going to fall incomplete. Looks like he might have thrown that one off his back foot, unable to drive that ball. Looks like some pressure might have got up the middle. Affected that throw by Rashad Walker. That'll bring up 3rd and 8. Screen play, but instead looks like Walker's just going to fire this one out of bounds. Very quick decision that time by the quarterback. And, wouldn't you know it, yet another punt here in the first quarter. Our 5th of the ball game already. Defenses on both sides playing very excellently. Watson takes this one in around the 23-yard line. He's going to be hit, driven back, only about to the 29-yard line, but we have a flag on the field. It's going to be a clipping penalty. I'm going to call that one on Luke Lucas, the junior college running back, playing a lot of special teams. We'll see him, I'm sure, a couple of times here today. Well, we've got a quick break to take a look at one of the outstanding impact players in college football this season. Last year's Doak Walker winner, Donnie Williams, the UTEP minor, just shy of 6,000 career rushing yards, about 500 yards shy of breaking the all-time NCAA record. We think he'll do that here in week 4 or 5 with the way he's been going. An exceptional runner Williams has been, and we'll see if he can bring the Miners to a New Year's Six Bowl and a conference championship. Again, highlighting Donnie Williams, today's Impact Player of the Week. But that's going to drive Wake Forest all the way back inside their own 20. Ball spotted at around the 14, maybe 15-yard line. Merritt takes a snap. It's going to be play action once again. This one's going to be driven down the field, and he overthrew his receiver. Had 2 guys out there, J.R. Ward and Bobby Larson, who looked to be open. But Merritt, a little bit of happy feet that time, unable to make a good clean throw, and it falls incomplete. So he started off this ball game fairly slowly. Another play action play here this time for the Deacons as this ball is thrown up, and it's going to be intercepted once again. 2nd interception of the first quarter for Deshaun Merritt, as Tulane's going to take over inside Demon Deacon territory. A bad throw that time by Merritt, as he has been very erratic so far to start off this ball game. And a great field position now here for Tulane. And you're seeing that replay there that time. Merritt just kind of fired that one up into double coverage. Not what you're wanting to see if you're the offensive coordinator. And now this one almost intercepted. Brandon Rogers looks like he had his hands on it. Just couldn't quite haul it in, and both quarterbacks really struggling here today. Very interesting. Conditions are pretty good down on the field. Not a lot of moisture. Nice and warm out there. Interesting to see so far here today. Screenplay this time by Tulane goes nowhere. Coley takes it, but only able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. And it's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Tulane still looking for their first conversion of the ball game here. Pressure by Sparks, and he is going to be drilled in the backfield. Kevin Sparks off the edge, the senior left end. able to break his block and drills the quarterback in the backfield for the first sack of the ball game. Big time hit. Looks like there was pressure off the right side by Tommy Gilmore as well. So the senior defensive ends making an impact here in the first. And Tulane forced to punt the ball away once again. Already the fourth time we've seen their punter here today. This one's going to skip through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And after 2 straight interceptions by Wake Forest, we'll see what Deshaun Merritt has on tap as they get set for their next offensive drive. So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line after the touchback. 2 tight ends set here for Wake Forest. As this ball is handed off to Boyd, cuts it back inside, still going. Keeping those legs churning. He picks up a nice 8-yard gain for the Deacons on 1st down. Sets them up for a 2nd and 2. A bit of a long 2, perhaps. Same formation here for the Deacons. This ball handed off to Boyd once again. Cuts it upfield. And he picks up enough for a 1st down. Give him 3 on the play. And that'll bring up a 1st and 10. Cap slotted to the right. 3 receivers here now for the Deacons. Snap away this time. Nobody open. Merritt's going to scramble out, and he's going to slide down 6 yards on that gain. Don't think he liked what he saw as the Deacons are moving quickly here, getting back to the line. Well, a little bit of no huddle. Didn't see much of that from them last week. Perhaps a new wrinkle here by the offense. This one drilled to Ward, and that one's going to be off the hands of Damian Marshall. Ward able to play defensive back and knock that one away from his hands. That almost was the 3rd interception of the game and quarter here by Deshaun Merritt. Instead, it falls to the turf, and they're given new life, 3rd and short now. One-on-one coverage to Bobby Larson, and he hauls it in 37 yards through the air all the way down to the 25-yard line. A senior wide receiver making an impact as he goes up one-on-one, and that's a true impact play right there. Look at that. See him go up against the cornerback and hauls it in. Big-time catch by a big-time offensive weapon. As now the Deacons are set up inside Tulane territory on the 25-yard line. Snap away. This one's play action. Merritt drills it behind. No, Marshall steps in front, and it's disastrous here for Wake Forest, as that is the 3rd interception of the quarter by their quarterback, Deshaun Merritt. This one taken in by Damian Marshall. Looks like he was going for Anthony Rich, but he couldn't quite get it over top of the cornerback. And Tulane's going to take over once again, and the momentum completely on their side now after 3 straight interceptions by the quarterback. Here is Coley out of the backfield, just 2 yards. The defense for the Deacons, perhaps a little bit deflated, but still playing hard. They want to get the momentum. They want to get that ball right back for their offense. So first time quarterback making plenty of mistakes here. Understandable as this ball is on the turf and Jennings is going to pick it up. So a turnover by Tommy Gilmore, able to strip the running back, and Eddie Jennings, the senior linebacker, able to fall on it. A fantastic play by the Deacons and just what they needed as the ball is turned over once again. It's been a very interesting quarter for both sides, as now we're hearing word that the booth is going to take a look at this one as it was close. Take a look at the replay here. As it looks like, yes, indeed, the running back was down. So we see there, knee down before that ball comes out. So the Green Wave will hold on to this one. Still, it'll be 3rd and 11. You would much rather take the loss of yardage than a turnover. So unfortunate for the Deacons, bit of a break there that time for the Green Wave. As now it's going to bring up 3rd and long. This one's going to be a screenplay. Snyder shoved off. But the linebacker, Jennings, able to bring down Kevin Coley for just a yard gain. As we'll see if the Green Wave choose to punt it or run out this quarter. And indeed they will let the clock wind down. So after one, it's a tie ball game, but it is scoreless. Tulane and Wake Forest locked in a dead heat, 0-0, in a sloppy first quarter. End of the first quarter here, so let's take a look around the NCAA. Highlight some standout performances from last week. We've got 2 guys here. Joseph Harley from Louisiana Tech, 5-touchdown performance against Southern Alabama, and cornerback Tom Ward with 2 interceptions against in-state rival Colorado State. As for the ACC, we're highlighting Tommy Gilmore, who had those 2 sacks as we saw last week, as well as the forced fumble, and quarterback Kenneth Little for North Carolina put up 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in a win versus Marshall. Let's get back to the game. Back here to BB&T Field, start of the second quarter as Tulane is faced with a 4th and 10. They're punting this ball away. Says Watson going to call for a fair catch around the 34-yard line. So that's where Wake Forest will take over. And they're hoping for much better things after a 3-interception first quarter by their quarterback, Deshaun Merritt. Perhaps a bit of yips here in the first quarter. So he'll take the snap. This time thrown to Bobby Larson. He's got it across the middle for 6 yards on the first down pickup. But back to Merritt. 3 interceptions in a quarter is a very, very poor start here. We talked about it last week. You know, this is his first year starting. Had a bit of a slow game last week. Had a couple of turnovers. More of the same so far. We'll see, he's got to clean his game up a little bit as we move throughout the season. He's got the talent. As Boyd rushes out for a 9-yard gain first down. He's got to settle down, take what's given to him instead of trying to force so many things deep down the field if the Deacons are going to make some noise here in the ACC this season. After that pickup, 1st and 10, 5 wide receivers here for the Deacons. This ball is driven down the middle of the field, nobody there, as perhaps a bit of a nervous throw that time by Deshaun Merritt as he shied away from where any defenders were in the area. As it falls to the turf, brings up 2nd and 10. Snap away, blitz is on. He's got Rich off to the left side. Rich makes a move, gets out to around the 31-yard line. Anthony Rich with a crossing route picks up 21 yards. And that's exactly what Deshaun Merritt needs. Got to get some confidence, got to get some rhythm back. As they move now down to the 32-yard line inside Tulane territory. 21 personnel out, 2 running backs, 1 tight end for the Deacons. Ball handed off to Boyd. Boyd finds a bit of a crease up the middle, picks up 6 yards on that first down gain. Up above 25 yards here in the ball game. This time, Deacons come out 3 wide. Cap slotted over to the left. This one's driven to Bobby Larson, who can't quite hang on. Looks like he had it and dropped it after the contact. It's a good play that time by the cornerback. As it brings up 3rd and 4 now here for the Deacons. It's like it's the same formation as last time. Merritt takes a snap. Blitz is on. He throws to Larson this time. He's got it. Spins around to tackler, and he brings him all the way down inside the 5-yard line. So the receiver, Bobby Larson, The best receivers on the team able to haul that one in. Merritt showing good faith in one of his top targets, as the Deacons are set up now inside the 5-yard line, knocking on the door, trying to score for the first time on either side here in the ballgame. Bunch of receivers to the right. This one pitched out to Boyd. He's got a blocker out there, but only able to get a yard. Good backside pursuit by the Green Wave defense. As Boyd only able to pick up a yard, maybe a yard and a half, as they spot the ball just inside the 4. Heavy set both ways this time here on 2nd and goal. Play action, this one dumped off to Bradford, but nothing doing that time. Caleb Bradford stopped immediately. And 3rd and goal now here for the Deacons, as they would love to get this ball in for 6. They don't want to settle for a field goal with the way this game has gone. Touchdown could be a huge swing in momentum. Snap is taken. This one wide open to J.R. Ward. Excellent route that time by the senior tight end. Deshaun Merritt's favorite target of the season. And the first passing touchdown of the year for the Demon Deacons goes to J.R. Ward. And the Deacons take a touchdown lead here a few minutes into the 2nd quarter, as they lead it 7-0. So we take a look at some of the student sections. Their fans making plenty of noise. Of course, they're very excited about this season. A top 10 ranking coming into this one, and they are expecting their team to do something big here in the ACC, if not at the national scale. One taken in by Kemp, and he stumbles. Looks like he had some room to the outside, but Kemp's going to be dropped down around the 24-yard line. If he could have kept his feet, he might have been able to break that one. Instead, just enough of a hit on him that time by the special teams unit. And the Green Wave will come out on the 25-yard line, looking to make some noise and perhaps respond here. This one thrown out to Dotson, Michael Dotson. First time we've called his name here today. But that one a little bit too close to the sideline, as that goes for no yards. As Rashad Walker, 5 completions, just 15 yards, as he has not been able to drive the ball down the field so far here today. Screen pass this time over to Coley to the left, or excuse me, to the right side. He's able to pick up 5 yards. A good play by the defensive cornerback. I believe that was DeMarcus Williams on the stop. Good tackle in space. Of course, tackling in space for cornerbacks, always a little bit of a tricky task. As it is now 3rd and 5. Another screen pass here for the Green Wave. This one's going to be snuffed out. And a great tackle that time by Bill Snyder. The senior defensive tackle, as he is able to prevent the first down. And stop me if you heard this one, but the Green Wave once again punting the ball away after they are unable to get anything down the field. Space for Watson on the return here. He's off to the right. He's out around the 35-yard line. Cuts it up a little bit. 17 yards. A good return that time. As the Deacons will be set up on the 36-yard line, looking to go down and score once more here before the end of the first half. 2 receivers right, 1 tight end right. Rich off by himself to the left. Snaps away. This one is going to be thrown and intercepted by Kemp. Another interception by Deshaun Merritt, his 4th of the first half, and it's disastrous for the junior quarterback. He's making just his 2nd start of his collegiate career. Looking for J.R. Ward once again, but great play that time by the linebacker to step in front. And 4 interceptions in the first half by Deshaun Merritt. And we'll see if there's any change on the offensive side by the Demon Deacons coaching staff as we move on throughout this ballgame. First down pass by Walker is fired off to the left and incomplete. Bring up 2nd and 10 for Tulane. With great field position, they have a real good shot at perhaps tying this ball game up, if not getting some points. This one run out to the left by Coley. He's going to pick up 6 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 4 now. Just a few yards shy of the red zone. The 20-yard, in fact, is the first down yard line to gain. As they're going to come out with 3 receivers, 2 split off to the left. Walker takes a snap. He's going to try to sneak upfield, but a big-time stop by Rob Pratt, who snuffed that one out, able to shed his block and drop Walker in the backfield. He'll be credited with a sack. More of a rushing attempt following the pull down by Walker. That's going to bring up 4th and 7 from the 27-yard line. And around a 40-yard field goal attempt here for the Green Wave. On the right hash. Ball down, kick is up, away, and it is going to sneak off just to the left. No good on the attempt. So Tulane comes away with no points as the Deacons will take over. Quick studio update as we see another ACC school. Virginia takes down Stanford 35-17 in a top 25 early season matchup. Talked a little bit about the ACC last week, but a very tough conference here this season. We'll see who comes out of both the Coastal and Atlantic here as now the Deacons take over following the missed field goal. This one's going to be fired to J.R. Ward around midfield. A great pass that time by Deshaun Merritt as J.R. Ward able to run by his linebacker, just too quick for the middle linebacker, and Merritt able to set his feet on that play-action play, showing great faith in his senior tight end J.R. Ward, and another big-time pickup. Here's Merritt now. Pressure up the middle. Sneaks out of it. He's down around the 37-yard line, 8 yards on that scramble out. Able to use his legs to great effect that time. And he sets up a 2nd and short just outside the 35. Boyd in the backfield, 2 tight ends. This ball handed off to Boyd. He's got a crease up the middle, and he is all the way out to the 25-yard line, 10 yards on that game. Back-to-back big-time rushing plays for this Deacon offense as they are working now. Trips right for the Deacons here on 1st and 10. As this one's thrown to Larson, spin move. Can't quite break away from the cornerback, but he is inside the 10. A great catch by Bobby Larson, one of the 2 outstanding receivers. Him and J.R. Ward have been doing most of the work here today for the Deacons. As now the Wake Forest looking to score for the 2nd time here in the 2nd quarter. They'd love to bring this lead to 14-0 here before the end of the first half. Everybody's shifted off to the right here for the Deacons on offense. As Merritt just runs this one out of bounds. He's got to throw that one away. A bit of a mental mistake this time by Deshaun Merritt as he's going to lose yardage on 1st down. So now we see 3 wide. Hamilton's slotted to the left. When they draw play, but not a lot of room there for Boyd as he's only going to be able to get back to the line of scrimmage. As Tulane able to force a 3rd and 12, 3rd and goal from the 12 rather. So once again the Deacons come out in 3 wide. 5-step drop for Merritt, and he's got Ron Capps for a touchdown. That's going to be his 2nd passing touchdown of the game. This one to Ron Capps, the sophomore receiver. And a good strike that time, able to get that one by the middle linebacker. That one was a little bit behind him. Might have been another interception. Instead, he's able to put enough velocity on that one. And the 2nd touchdown of the game for the Deacons puts them up by a score of 14-0 here as we wind down the first half. So the Deacons showing faith in their junior quarterback, 1st-year starter Deshaun Merritt, and they are rewarded for it that time on The second straight touchdown drive of the half for the Deacons. This one taken in by Kemp. Again, not able to get out to the 25. He's going to be dropped around the 21, maybe 22-yard line. We'll see where they spot him. As this Tulane defense has not been able to do much here against this stalwart defensive front of the Demon Deacons. We'll see if their coaching staff makes any adjustments towards the end of the first half into the second half, as they are sitting under 30 yards of offense here on the day. This one, a poor throw by Walker. As looks like that was a timing route that got interrupted, so he just fires that one into the turf. They'll live to see another day, as that brings up 2nd and 10 now. Gordon in motion, left to right across the formation. Another screen pass, but the ball is going to be on the turf. And a fantastic play. It looks like that was the right guard, number 63. Able to pick that one off the turf. Excuse me, that is the right tackle. As Sparks, the interior defensive lineman, guy we haven't called much this season, plays outside and inside, able to get there. That screen pass a little bit too long. And that one was on the turf, could have been disastrous. But Tulane able to jump on that one, and we'll see if that one is a fumble indeed. So we're looking at the tape, and it looks like Walker might have been down. Yeah, there we see his right hip. Appears to be on the turf before that ball was loose. Not much of a consequence, maybe a couple extra yards. Yes, they will say it was not a fumble. So that'll give them 3 extra yards here to work with. But still a 3rd and 22 now for the Green Wave, as they want to get out of this half just down 14-0. They hand this ball off up the middle to Coley. He goes outside, but he gets dropped for a loss. And Wake Forest is going to take a timeout. They're going to want to get this ball back. They want to go down and score once again here before the end of the half. They would love to go into halftime with a 3-score lead. Stands 4th and 23 inside their own 10. 42 seconds left in the half. This ball booted away to Watson. He's got some room. Cuts back to the right. He's across midfield. He's down around the 43-yard line. 13 yards on that return. And the Deacons set up with great field position as they try to punch this one in here to end the first half. As there we see some of the great defense that the Deacons have played. That's how they've been able to overcome those 4 turnovers on offense. They have held the Green Wave offense to basically nothing here. Merritt takes a snap. There's blitz off up the middle. Merritt runs to the outside. He's got room. He's down to the 30, down to the 20. Shakes a man. He's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Deshaun Merritt with a big-time rush on first down, and just like that, the Deacons are into the red zone. As there we see that he is able to break that blitz by using his speed to the outside, able to shake one cornerback, able to get out down to the 14-yard line, and the Deacons set up very nicely now as they try to punch this one in for 6 and go up 21-0 here as we wind down the end of the first half. Snap is away. This one is going to be sacked from behind. A big-time hit off the edge by the Green Wave. Carl Skinner off the edge, unblocked, as it's a big hit on the quarterback. You don't want to see that if you're Wake Forest. But Merritt pops right back up, now with another opportunity to perhaps get some yardage here. Blitz is on. This one thrown to Larson. Not a whole lot there. He's able to pick up just 6 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 11. And now Wake Forest calls their 3rd timeout of the half. So this ball's got to go into the end zone or out of bounds. Otherwise, they might get out of here without having a chance to kick a field goal. 2 tight ends off to the right here. Merritt scrambles out, and he's just going to be forced to throw this one away. Nothing open. Good play that time by Merritt, able to throw the ball out of bounds, save the field goal attempt for Wake Forest. This one is down, up, and no good. Oh no, Harold Allen pushes that one to the right, and Tulane is going to sneak out of this one just down 14-0. as they catch a break towards the end of the first half. As there we go, see studio update. NC State, Mississippi State very close. Mississippi State with a 1-point lead. So after the missed field goal, a handoff here to Coley as a fumble and picked up by Wake Forest. Oh my goodness, there's still a second on the clock, and just like that, Wake Forest are going to have another opportunity to kick a field goal here at the end of the first half. Absolutely disastrous for Tulane. Should have just kneeled on that one and gone into halftime. Instead got a little greedy, and they might get burned. A missed field goal last time, this time from the right hash. Harold Allen missed the last one. This one is up, and this one is good. So an absolute disaster if you're Tulane. They put the ball on the turf, and they allow Wake Forest to go into halftime 17-0, as it's been a bit of a sloppy game on both sides. But the talent has won out here for Wake Forest as they go into the half up 17-0. So we'll take a break here at halftime. Again, score 17-0. Wake Forest over Tulane. First half played by turnovers for both sides. 2 on Tulane's half, 4 on Wake Forest's half. But Wake Forest defense able to pick up their offense. So we'll be back after this halftime for second half action here from Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina on EA Sports. Here at halftime, we are once again taking a look at one of these Demon Deacons. This week's focus is on the senior tight end, J.R. Ward. Attended East Carteret High School in Beaufort, North Carolina. Ward goes by J.R. He's named after his father's full name is Jonathan Richard. Wants to go by J.R. on the field to establish his own identity. And Ward is a major in sports medicine, sporting a 3.47 GPA. He'll graduate in the spring. He told us that he wanted to go into sports medicine as his junior year came to a halt in high school as he went down with a pretty severe ankle injury. And he really gives a lot of credit to the athletic training staff for his high school for getting him back out there as soon as he could. Well, let's get you back to the game. Well, we are back here in Winston-Salem at BB&T Field in Wake Forest University. Here for Tulane and Wake Forest. Wake Forest leads by a score of 17-0. As second half kickoff is away to Kemp. So he takes it in and around the 3-yard line. He's got some space, and he is all the way out to the 32-yard line. John Kemp with a 28-yard return. And it'll set up Tulane with good field position. However, their offense has just been unable to get anything going against this defense here today, as Wake Forest have rebounded from a bit of an iffy showing last week, and they have shut down pretty much anything that the Green Wave have tried here this afternoon. His first pass of the game is going to be caught by Michael Dotson, but he's going to be dropped immediately. Tackled that time by number 59, Hunter Campbell, the outside linebacker. One of these sophomores on this very young Wake Forest defense. As it's more of the same here to start this second half. Another negative play, and if you're Tulane, you're still in this game thanks to those 4 turnovers you forced in the first half. But your offense has really got to start putting in some work here. As Walker is going to be drilled in the backfield. Oh my goodness, a big tackle for loss, big sack rather, by Tommy Gilmore, the standout defensive end. First time we've really called his name in the pass rush here today. But he is one of those guys that an offense absolutely has to game plan for. And we're sure to see him on Sundays next year as well, following an outstanding collegiate career. Again, Tommy Gilmore on the sack that time. After that big loss, 3rd and 18 now for Tulane as Gordon shifts left to right across the formation. 4-man rush here for the Deacons, as it looks like Walker had a receiver out to the left, but he just overthrew him by a touch. And we are going to have yet another punt by this Tulane Green Wave special teams unit. And if you're the Green Wave head coach, you've really got to think about switching it up a little bit, as your offense has just not been able to do anything here. Watson takes in the punt around the 40-yard line. He's going to be out across midfield out to the 48-yard line, as Wake Forest is going to get set for another drive here. Their first drive of the third quarter, in fact. Whereas last time out, they picked up a field goal following a disastrous result by Tulane. They put the ball on the turf with just 1 second. As that one's going to be thrown into the turf. Looks like Merritt got hit as he threw it. As Wake Forest was able to pick up the ball with 1 second after a fumble by the Tulane offense. They were able to kick the field goal, go up 17-0 in halftime. Still a pretty poor showing, all things considered. 4 turnovers so far today here for the Deacons. As now Merritt's going to scramble off to the right on the play-action play. Picks up 13 yards on the first down to get a first down, all the way up to 63 yards, as he's really been able to use his feet a little bit more. You saw that, I didn't see that too often in the first quarter. Seems like that was a point of emphasis by his coaches. Say, hey, you're throwing a lot of turnovers, you're forcing stuff. Perhaps try putting the ball on the ground. Use your legs to great effect, and he has done so here following that first quarter. This ball handed off to Boyd up the middle. Picks up about 10.5 yards, enough for a first down. As the Deacons are driving now here inside Tulane territory, just outside the red zone. Merritt takes a snap. He's got Larson behind the defender. Larson down inside the 5. Another big play that time to Bobby Larson, up above 100 yards on the day. Able to beat the press. Picks up enough yards to get them all the way down inside the 5-yard line. A nice throw that time by Deshaun Merritt. As now the Deacons are set up to perhaps put this into a 4-score lead. Ball handed off to Boyd. He gets hit right away. Good play by the defensive lineman, and Boyd able to get a little bit, maybe a half a yard on that first down carry. As it's 2nd and goal now. With an offset formation, Ward split out at the left tackle, an extra right tackle on the right side of the formation. This one's going to be thrown and caught by Anthony Rich in the back of the end zone. A nice adjustment to the ball midair by Anthony Rich. And just like that, Deshaun Merritt now 3 touchdowns on the day. So after that disaster of a first quarter, he has really come back and, shown his mettle. And he has led the Deacons to 4 scoring drives here in the last 2 quarters, including 3 passing touchdowns. So a fantastic rebound for him. Again, we've harped on that first quarter a little bit, but it seems like he has forgotten about it. And at this point, you have to say he's having a pretty good game now. Kickoff is away, taken in by Kemp around the 3-yard line. Good return last time. This time just about out to the 20-yard line. Good coverage by the Deacons. As there we see what the Demon Deacon defense has done here today. We say Demon Deacons, and perhaps we just need to start calling them the Demons, because they have held their opponents to a negative yardage here so far today. Of course, a lot of that was some of these big sacks that Walker has taken. As now he gets around the outside, he's going to pick up a first down in the scramble. Rashad Walker, 12 yards on first down, and oh no, it looks like he is down. As Rashad Walker, you never like to see that, as it looks like the backup quarterback is going to have to come in now. As this is Holloway. Holloway, his first snap of the game. He's going to get drilled in the backfield. Ricky Holloway takes a big shot on his first play of the game. That is number 96, Bill Snyder, the senior defensive tackle. And perhaps a bit of inexperience that time. Maybe thinking that his protection would hold up a little bit more, as we're getting word in from the booth, as looks like Walker will be out for just a little bit. He should be back here in the ball game shortly. This one thrown away by Holloway. Following a sack, there was some more good pressure up the middle that time. Perhaps he got a little bit nervous by that pressure, and he threw that ball away, wanting to not take another sack. So now Tulane comes out 4 wide set. One running back in the backfield. Holloway throws it off to the right. Looks like he might have had a receiver, but he was out of bounds by a few steps. As 1 sack and 2 incompletions for the backup quarterback. And the Tulane Green Wave are going to be forced to punt the ball away once again. Their offense maybe looked like it had something going until Walker went out after that big rush on first down. Holloway unable to do anything. And now here's Watson on the return. Watson upfield. He's going to get out just about to the midfield. 14 yards on that return, and Wake Forest is set up once again with very good field position as they try to continue this hot streak and go down and score once again here in the third quarter. 4 receivers out for the Deacons. This ball thrown to Anthony Rich, breaks off 1 tackler down to the 35, 16 yards on that reception. Anthony Rich with a nice grab and run. The number 2 receiver here in this Deacon offense. The number 3 target behind J.R. Ward and Bobby Larson. But a big key component for them regardless. 5 wide, Boyd, the running back, split out wide. As this one's going to be taken in by Ward, a nice high point catch by J.R. Ward. 23 yards on that reception, and he is all the way down inside the red zone, down to around the 11-yard line. A senior tight end, one of the perhaps dark horse candidates for the Mackey Award this season. Makes another outstanding grab, helping out his quarterback. Ball spotted at the 12-yard line. Snap is to Boyd. Boyd's got some room up the middle, and he is going to get a first down. Didn't quite get the touchdown. There was about 1.5 yards between the first down yard line and the goal line. But unable to get inside the end zone. Instead, a fresh set of downs. Ball spotted around the 1. This ball handed off to Tucker. Tucker spins. Anthony Tucker's in for 6. And now Wake Forest really piling it on as they have caught a groove, and their offense working to great effect here these last 2 quarters as they've put up 4 touchdowns and a field goal as they now lead by a score of 31-0 midway through the third. Well, we've got a quick break in the action. Let's take a look at the Spark Top 10 quarterback recruits this season, highlighted by Louis Hammond, one of the best prospects in the entire class out of Texas. The big 6'1" quarterback looks almost pro-ready coming out of high school, and we're sure that all of the message boards are going to be clamoring for him. So Louis Hammond, a key name to look for as we go on throughout the season, and we're excited to see him up at the next level next year. And back to the game. Allen's kick is away. It's about halfway through the end zone. This is going to be a touchback. See if Walker is set to come back in here following the brief sidelining following that injury, as indeed he is. We'll see if Tulane can really get anything going. They're pretty far out of this one at this point. They would love to score some points, put up touchdown, perhaps a couple of field goals, as Kyle Coley gets absolutely demolished, and that one pretty much sums up what it's been like these first 2.5 quarters for the Green Wave, as a missed block by the left tackle allows Gilmore to come in like he was shot out of a cannon and blow up that run play before it even had a chance to get started. As now it's 2nd and 13 for Walker and the Green Wave. Walker takes a snap. He is going to find McFadden out to the left, 5 yards on that reception. This brings up 3rd and 9. Again, if you're Tulane, you would love to get some points here, you know. You're probably not going to win this game at this point, but you don't want to go into next week all negatives. You want to have a little bit of momentum as you start off your next game. Here's Walker, 5 wide. McFadden able to catch it. Turns upfield, but not able to get enough. As this is number 26, I believe. Couldn't quite make out the number. Might have been Mike Neal, might have been Marcus Williams. Either way, another 4th down, and Tulane again has to punt the ball away, unable to convert a 3rd down here today. This one's muffed by Watson, able to pick it up, as now he's going backwards, and that one is a poor return. Maybe should have just fallen on that ball, as he's going to lose about 10, maybe 15 yards on that return, and the Deacons are going to be set up now at their own 15-yard line. Still in cruise control here from this point on. We'll see how they want to finish out this game. 2 running backs, 1 tight end. Merritt. He's going to be taken down from behind. Looks like he might have had a receiver, but felt the pressure from behind. Couldn't get that ball out of his hands. He's going to go down for a 9-yard loss. As now the Deacons are backed up quite far. And if you're the Deacons, that's the one thing you don't want to do. Negative plays or turnovers are the one things you have to avoid when you're playing a game with a lead as big as this. This one handed off to Boyd, just 2 yards on the 2nd down carry. 3rd and 17 now. As they look to do work and get a few yards, they want to get out of the shadow of their own goalposts, if at all possible. One screen pass to Boyd, not anything out there. Good play by the linebacker to run with him. Screen pass did not work, and it'll go for a 0-yard completion, and the Deacons forced to punt the ball away. Seen a number of punts here today. This one, a very high kick around midfield, is where Kemp's going to take it. He's going to get a few yards, just 6 on that return. So they start off this drive inside Wake Forest territory the 2nd time. They've started off a drive inside the opposing territory here today. And once again, we're taking a look at some of the highlights as this defensive line has wrought havoc this entire ball game, as they have put on relentless pressure. 5 sacks, 3 hurries as well. And both interior and exterior pressure have really been on point for the Deacons here today. Of course, we knew that was one of their strengths coming into this ball game, the defensive linemen. As looks like Walker's going to stumble in the backfield, and he is going to be taken down. This time we're going to give that sack credit to number 54. That's Brian Clancy, the other senior linebacker back there with Eddie Jennings. That's his 1st sack of the year, more of a cleanup sack. That'll be the 6th sack of the game for the Deacons as we approach the end of the 3rd quarter here in Winston-Salem. Walker takes a snap, 5-step drop. This one, he's got McFadden for a big gain. David McFadden, 20 yards, picks up a 1st down. Good strong throw that time by Walker over the middle of the field. Fortunately, that just has not been there for the Green Wave here this afternoon. And again, we'll see if they can come away from this game with some positives as we approach the end of it. This one's going to be knocked down at the line. Good pressure that time. That's Chris Cole coming in from the defensive secondary. The dime cornerback and 3rd safety on this team. One of the freshmen. Very inexperienced secondary for the Deacons. That time able to get in the face of Walker and knocks that ball down. This one thrown to the tight end, David Gordon, 8 yards on 2nd down. The 3rd and 2 now, just a hair outside of the red zone for Tulane. So they go 4 wide, 3 receivers split to the left. So it's going to be an option play. This one's Walker. He's going to push it upfield, 7 yards on that 3rd down rush. And that is the first 3rd down at the end of the 3rd quarter here for the Green Wave. As we wind down this 3rd quarter, perhaps one more play Yes, indeed we will. Walker takes a snap. He breaks away from pressure. He's cutting it upfield, and he's going to be in for 6. Rashad Walker scores a touchdown for the Tulane Green Wave. Felt the pressure from the right side. Looks like he almost was taken down by Kevin Sparks. Instead, able to break out of that pressure, cut it upfield for 6 points. As the Green Wave get on the board here at the end of the third quarter to go for a brief studio update as Mississippi State holds a 7-point lead over North Carolina State. About 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, trying to hold off the Wolfpack. They do not want to get upset here in the second week of the season. Kickoff away to Watson in the back of the end zone. He'll kneel it down. So the Deacons will start off the third quarter from the 25-yard line. Probably one more play here. That's a quick incompletion for the Deacons here in the third quarter. As this one's pitched out quickly to Boyd. He's got a little bit of space to the outside, only 2 yards, Jamel Boyd. And that'll bring us to the end of the third. Wake Forest in complete control of this one as they lead Tulane 31-7 here on EA Sports College Football on ESPN. As we get set for the fourth quarter, let's take a look at around the league, see what games are going on after this one finishes. Got a couple of big-time matchups, Florida, Alabama here in just a little bit. But the night is highlighted by Notre Dame at Clemson, a Week 2 top 10 matchup at Death Valley. Should be an exciting one to watch. Also, Texas A&M and Oregon coming up, another top 25 matchup. So we got some good football here early on in the season. Let's head back out to Wake Forest and wrap this one up. Welcome back into fourth quarter action here as the Wake Forest Demon Deacons hold a comfortable lead, 31-7 over the Tulane Green Wave. They've been in control of this game from about the start of the second quarter. I can believe it, this game was tied 0-0 at the end of the first. As it looks like Boyd might have gone down a little bit here. Hopefully he's okay. You never want to see anybody get hurt here in the fourth quarter. Actually, looks like he popped back up. Just needed an extra second. He's still in there. Tough kid. He gets the second handoff, and he's going to pick up 3 yards this time. Picks up a first down, and that's what you want if you're the Deacons right now. Just run this clock out. Go home with a win. Story of this one, of course, is Deshaun Merritt. 4 first-quarter interceptions. Able to shake it off, come back, and lead the Deacons to 31 points here, as he finds Joe Ross, the freshman tight end, one of their big-time recruits from just a season ago, or excuse me, 2 seasons ago. Yes, Merritt, 4 first-quarter interceptions, but come back to score 31 points. He has really shown some poise, able to come back from that very shaky first quarter of football as he finds J.R. Ward, breaks the tackle. Ward down the sideline. He's out to the 25, all the way down to the 20-yard line. J.R. Ward, 40 yards on the reception. And a big play by the Deacons once again as their passing offense goes to the tight end. They've used so many crossing routes and tight end routes here these first couple of games, as their offense has really been humming ever since the start of the first quarter. Excuse me, start of the second quarter, rather. So they are inside the red zone, it looks like. Merritt takes a snap once again. This one dumped off to Bradford in the flat. He's going to pick up about 5 yards, Caleb Bradford. His 3rd reception of the ball game. Now down inside the 15. The Deacons would love to put up another touchdown here. They would like to extend their lead all the way out to 38. It's going to be 31 points. This one pitched out to Boyd. He's got blockers in front. Boyd is in for a touchdown. Jamel Boyd goes in for 6, 15 yards, untouched. And the Wake Forest Demon Deacons in complete control as they have been. Now 5 touchdowns on the ball game, and they now lead this game 38-7 here with just under 5 minutes to go in the second half. Kickoff is away following the touchdown by Harold Allen. Kemp's just going to take this one in the back of the end zone. And Tulane will start off once again from their own 25. As both teams at this point really just looking to get out of here without any injuries. As I'm sure we'll see some rotational players here towards the end of the ball game for both sides. Get some experience here and there. And there's a bit of confusion there that time, looks like, from the receivers. Walker might have had a guy out to the left, but instead it falls incomplete to the turf. Going to bring up second down now. See some rotational players here in the game for Wake Forest. This one's thrown out to Coley, and it's going to be picked off following the deflection by Mobley. John Mobley in the ball game, the sophomore. And we're going to have a face mask tacked on at the end of it. That ball looks like it was going to be caught by the running back out of the backfield. And he couldn't quite hang on to the ball. And John Mobley, his first snap of the season, able to snag it out of the air. With the face mask, the Deacons are set up in the red zone once again. As looks like now we're going to have some of the reserves here for Wake Forest come into the ball game. Brian Hall, the senior backup for Deshaun Merritt. Very team-oriented player is Hall, and is a guy you want as your backup. Anytime you can have a senior with the type of poise that he has, it's the type of guy you want in your quarterback's room. And Anthony Tucker takes the handoff. As now it brings up 3rd and 5 from the 21-yard line. Hall takes a snap, finds Tucker in the flat. Tucker spins out of one tackle, couldn't break the second, just 2 yards on that reception. And it'll be 4th and 3 from the 10-yard line as the Deacons forced to try for a field goal once again. This one up, sneaks inside the goalpost. And that is the second field goal of the game for Harold Allen as we go into studio for a quick update. As we see the Bulldogs able to hold on against the Wolfpack and end up winning that game by a score of 34-27 as they stave off the upset. No such upset here at Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem as Deacons in control of this one 41-7. About 2.5 minutes left to go in this ball game. So we'll see the Green Wave offense come out once more following the turnover. Interception by John Mobley last time out. Deacons are excited about him next season. Of course, they were going to hate to see Eddie Jennings, the senior linebacker, go. But whenever you can have a guy like Mobley, his athleticism, really excited about him patrolling the interior of the field next season and for seasons beyond. That time a 9-yard scramble by Walker. Brings up 2nd and 1. This pass over the middle to McFadden. Couldn't hang on. Tulane just not, their receivers not able to hold on to the ball here today. Been some open plays. The coverage by the Wake Forest defense has been pretty outstanding, but some missed opportunities for this Tulane offense, you would have to say, here in this ball game. Coley takes that one for a 6-yard gain and a first down. No real sense of urgency for Tulane. They are content to run their typical offense. Got no reason to get out of sorts when a game is as out of hand as this one is. Just want to see if your guys can make some plays. And looks like we're going to have a face mask, a poor tackle that time by the Wake Forest defender. Coming on Caps.
Still first down.
So after the face mask, ball set at around the 31, maybe 32-yard line here for Tulane. Walker sets back. This one to McFadden. He's got the catch on the nice little crossing route. 9-yard gain on that play. Now down to the 23-yard line. Another screen pass, this time to Mobley. This a nice tackle, however, in the backfield by Chris Cole. Cole, the freshman, one of the 2 freshmen that plays in the secondary on a regular snap basis for Wake Forest. Coley takes the handoff on 3rd and 1. He's going to keep those legs churning for a conversion. As they're in the red zone as we approach 1 minute left to go in this ball game. Cox takes this one in. He's going to take it, but it's going to be a 0-yard pickup. We've seen a number of screens here today for Tulane. Key component of their offense. Been a few that have worked, but you'd have to say their success rate is far below what they've expected here coming into today's ball game. And this ball is dropped once again. Walker had a receiver out to the right, a little bit behind him, not able to throw it into a good position for his receiver, as that one falls incomplete. Brings up a 3rd down once again. Walker with some pressure. This one to Mobley. Excuse me, that's Coley, who takes it inside the 10-yard line. And in fact, they're going to spot him with enough yards down to the 8. They're going to give him a 1st down. As there are now just 10 seconds left to go in this ballgame. 1st and goal. As this one is up and through the uprights. No points, however. Walker just threw that one away as there was some tremendous pressure off the edge. Second and goal, 7 seconds. Another screen pass here for the Green Wave, and that'll about do it. Very typical play here for the Green Wave today. Another negative yardage play. And it pretty much encapsulates what the Green Wave were experiencing all day. This tremendous defensive front for Wake Forest as they pull out the victory by a comfortable margin. Final score 41-7, as Deshaun Merritt will give him the player of the game. Again, 4 interceptions in the first quarter, but he was on fire starting in the second quarter and led this Demon Deacon offense to some explosive plays as they put up 41 points in 3 quarters, as you will certainly take that. But there's some things to clean up for them. If you're Tulane, you'll want to forget about this one and gear up for conference play starting in just a couple of weeks. Tough road games, of course. They lose to Georgia Tech on the road. Now they fall to Wake Forest, the number 6 and number 7 teams in the nation. For Wake Forest, they have got a Power 5 matchup coming up soon against West Virginia. That'll be an exciting one. And then they'll get into conference play soon thereafter. We're looking forward to that game against Clemson in what should be a very pivotal early season matchup. Until then, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, comment, or a subscription. Until then, we'll see you in the next one.